everyone, it's Extreme Zero here, bringing you yet another and more calm opinion piece video. And today I'm going to be looking at a little article that was recently posted. A deal with EA once again talking smack about Nintendo. Yes, we haven't even completed the first month of 2014 and EA is already on their hate bandwagon again. For the first half of last year, that's all we were getting. EA was just talking smack about Nintendo left, right, front, and center, which was the complete opposite of how they were at E3 2011 when they came up on Nintendo's stage during their Wii U reveal and promised so much support, and that unprecedented partnership of support ended with 4 games, 2 shoddy ports, 1 overpriced late port, and 1 brilliant port which was beautiful in every regard, except it came 6 months late and it was first being charged at full price. So yeah, mediocre support from EA. So much for that unprecedented partnership. Now an EA source who wants to stay anonymous, and good for you, unlike Bob Summerwill. You want to stay anonymous, good boy. He spoke to CVG saying that Nintendo was dead to us very quickly. He's an EA representative, and he said that Nintendo was dead to us very quickly. This was the full quote. It says, Nintendo was dead to us very quickly, one EA source told me when asked about why the publisher fell out with Nintendo so soon after committing to the system. The anonymous source continues that it became a kids' IP platform, and we don't really make games for kids. That was pretty true across the other labels too. Even the Mass Effect title on Wii U, which was a solid effort, could never do big business, and EA, like Activision, is only focused on games that can be big franchises. Oh, that's deep. That is profoundly deep, good sir. And I say that because EA basically sabotaged themselves with every last 4 of the games that they brought to Wii U. They sabotaged their own sales, and they have the gall. Well, I shouldn't say they. This guy has the gall. But I guess he's speaking for a much major source, but rather, still. Actually, he had the gall to come up and say that Nintendo was dead to us very quickly because Wii U became a kids' IP platform. They don't make games for kids. Like, what? Are you kidding me? Are you truly kidding me? That's deep. That is really deep. Their offerings on Wii was less than mediocre. Most of the games that they brought to Wii was bad. Bad, very bad. A lot of the ports they oversteered, they were not good. They were made by their second or third tier studios, their backwater studios. He said, okay, we want you to bring this major title to Wii, but we want you to water it down to the very, very least. Just slap the same name on the title, but make a completely different, mediocre game, and say that, hey, we released such and such a game on Wii. That isn't what they did here with Wii U, but they did something very similar. For one, they brought FIFA and Madden 13 to the Wii U, and that was missing features from the PS3 and the 360 versions, yet they had no problem in charging full price for it. Yeah, that makes sense. Then with Mass Effect 3, it was a pretty good port that Treyarch did. Mass Effect 3, it was a pretty decent port. It even came with some of the DLC. But EA had the gall to charge $60 for it. This came months after the PS3, the 360, and the PC versions, but EA had the gall to charge full price for it. And at the very same time that they announced and released Mass Effect 3 on Wii U, they brought out the Mass Effect trilogy on PS3, 360. Which is, wow. Mass Effect had never hit a Nintendo system before. So here, Wii U owners were getting the new Mass Effect game, but PS3 and 360 owners were getting the new Mass Effect game as well as the 2 other past games that they already had to begin with. So you're going to bring the new game of a series that was never seen on a Nintendo system, charge full price for it, but bring the new game and the 2 past iterations on the past systems, which had already gotten all 3 games in the first place. And you're gonna charge for it at the very same price. Like, how much sense does that make? And on top of that, EA did not even bother to bring the next set of DLC for it after the release of Mass Effect 3 on Wii U. So once again, they shot themselves in the foot, they backed themselves into a corner. Now, Need for Speed Most Wanted You. It's a game that I own. I was not able to get it on PC, PS3, 360, or Vita when it released, but I was able to get it on Wii U. And the developers of Criterion, they went ahead, they said that this was the definitive version of the game, because, and if you saw I did a video on it, they went all out. They utilized the hardware, they utilized it to the point where they were able to improve the graphics using the PC textures, they improved the lighting, they went ahead and they used the gamepad, they put in a co-driver mode which used the gamepad in a really sweet way. They really utilized it was a quality port. They gave the perfect example of how you port a game. Not just bringing it over, slapping on the gamepad features and calling it a day, and cutting out features at that. No, they brought every last feature from the other versions of the game, and then some. That's how you do a port. Unfortunately, the game did not sell very well. And why do you think so? Well, for one, this game came out half a year after the other versions. Not 2 or 3 months, 6 full months after the other versions. But yet EA thought, well, you know, the team put all this work into the game, so let's go ahead and, you know, charge full price for it. $60 again. $60 again for a game that thousands of people already bought on 4 other platforms. Makes perfect sense. Perfect sense, EA. So for them to now come out and say that Nintendo was dead to us very quickly is stupid. It's truly stupid. There was a rumor that apparently they had some fallout with Nintendo over having Origin integrated with the Wii U, where Origin would power the Wii U's online services. It was only a rumor, it was never proven false, but it was never proven true either. So Nintendo approached EA, saying that, hey, you know, we want you to help us to create our online infrastructure for Wii U. And EA said, okay, we can power with our Origin services. But in the end, that would mean that EA would basically get most of the profits from the Wii U's online infrastructure. So they would basically own half of the Wii U. Nintendo would get physical sales, but of course EA would still have to get a cut for the digital sales. See? So Nintendo allegedly said, okay, never mind, we'll just do it by ourselves. Sorry for bothering you. EA was like, what? You want to take our services? Okay, fine, we take back our games. Like I said, it was only a rumor, but it was never proven true, but it was never proven false either. There's still no word on that, but regardless of what happened, something had to happen between the E3 2011 and the Wii U's launch in 2012 and 2013 and all of 2013 as to why EA just decided to bow out from Nintendo. Because you just don't say, hey, we have this unprecedented partnership, we're gonna bring all of our major franchises to Nintendo's new system, and then turn around and say, oh, well, you know, screw them, we don't like them. That is wild. That is wild. Hooey. Nintendo was dead to us very quickly. Well, EA, all I have to say to you is that you were dead to Wii U owners very quickly, because you brought 2 shoddy ports, 1 overpriced late port, and 1 quality port but was overpriced and once again late. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Perfect sense. And they've been complaining from all last year about how their games did not sell well, and they're trying to justify their acts of not bringing new games to Wii U, when in essence they caused that on themselves. They are the ones to blame. You expect people to put down money for late ports, full price, and late ports that are missing features too? What? Nuh-uh, man. You got to be kidding. You got to be joking yourself. Seriously. What really got me about this quote is that he said it became a kid's IP platform. The Wii U is not the Wii. And I'm not saying that in the way that consumers get confused about what's the difference. I'm talking about library. It's game library. If you look at the Wii U's game library, does it have casual games? Yes, it does. It does have a few. But compare that to what we see on Wii. Even in the Wii's first year, the Wii was getting slammed left and right with casual titles. The Wii U, on the other hand, has been mostly receiving quality, quote-unquote, hardcore titles. We did not see Assassin's Creed on Wii. We're seeing that on Wii U. We do not see Batman on Wii. We're seeing that on Wii U. We do not see Mass Effect. And, well, we did see Call of Duty, but not to the same extent. See what I mean? If you look at the Wii U's library, most of it is hardcore titles. You have those few casual titles, yes, but the amount on Wii U and the amount on Wii is completely different. Completely different. So as to where EA came in with this how it became a kids IP platform is beyond me. Because those kiddie games that we saw on Wii, we have yet to see them on Wii. We are seeing casual games like Wii Party U, Wii Fit U, and Wii Sports Club, and Nintendo Land. We're seeing those kind of games on it, yes, but not to the same extent we saw them on the original Wii. And Nintendo's titles like Pikmin 3, Super Mario 3D World, New Super Mario Bros. U, even though those are, in a sense, casual titles, those aren't by any means mostly casual, because the amount of skill that it takes to complete those games, it does require more from a more mature gamer. I mean, even the hardcore titles are mostly played by kids anyway. You have kids 6, 8, 10 playing GTA 5 and Call of Duty and Assassin's Creed, and those are games that are M-rated, but you have little kids playing them. So those can technically qualify to be kids games too. I mean, Activision even said, well, we know that most of our Call of Duty fan base, most of the sales we make are from casual gamers. You think you gotta be a macho man in order to play those games? Well, technically you should, but that doesn't stop the thousands of kids that have access to those games. So can't the games that come on those platforms be considered kiddie too? EA's thinking is preposterous. They were mostly lying all of last year to try and justify them not bringing their games to Wii U, saying stuff like Frostbite 3 couldn't run on Wii U, and then coming out a few months later and saying, well, we know, if we did put our hands to it, we could actually make it. Yeah, of course you could. Moral of the story is, EA, you've been getting the Worst Company in America award 2 straight times in a row for a reason. You could possibly even get the third. Because your ethics are so terrible. And it's funny how, gamers react to this. Like, they hate EA. A lot of gamers, they hate EA. But they're the same ones who, when EA decides to talk bad about Nintendo, they come to the defense saying like, well, that makes sense, if they can't make any money on the platform, it's good that they don't bother bringing the games. They come to EA's defense when it comes down to EA hating the same thing they hate. When it comes down to EA's in general, people are tired of EA. EA is just a really bad company, and they really need to change their strategy. If it's one company that really needs to reform themselves, a lot of people say that Nintendo needs to reform themselves, and in a sense they do. But if it's another company that really needs any reformation, it has to be EA. They're the ones who are guilty of taking over these little studios, these little but great studios, like recently Criterion. Criterion was an awesome studio. Now look where Criterion is. Criterion is dead. There are only 7 people. The co-founder and the founder left the studio. Now there are only 7 people remaining. Criterion is no more. See how that is? EA limited them to making Need for Speed games. They made Need for Speed games, then they went in and they reformed a new team. They said they brought over almost 80% of Criterion's workforce over to that new studio, Ghost Games. They killed them off. Like, really? So many studios EA has just raped and crushed them afterwards. They have really bad stuff going on there. It's all a monopoly. they're, you wonder why they have so much power that they are able to move Microsoft and move Sony. And Sony and Microsoft are able to move back all, just making it rain, just making the money flow. Money talks. And EA responds to money. Like, you wave a couple bucks in front of those CEOs' faces, they're like, oh yeah, we'll do that. We do that. We bring exclusive game to your system. We bring exclusive DLC too. Just give us money. Just give us money. Yeah. Anyway, my little rant is over. So what do you guys have to say about this? About EA's another blast to Nintendo? Do you think that it's justifiable that they are talking sense this time, or do you still think that they are talking out of their behinds? I refuse to curse like most of the other commentators here. I want to be too good, guy. Yeah. Stupid EA. Greedy pigs. Alright guys, well, that's enough from me. Thank you for watching the video, and have a great day, and keep on gaming. See you later.